Hi everyone, my name is Giuseppe Capolino. Today I'm going to be presenting my capstone project for the Harvard Fintech Online short course. My project was problem number one about Block Square, the new kid on the block. And the project was to outline a strategy whereby commercial real estate firms should engage and participate in the tokenization of real estate assets. So I began with my presentation with a simple question, which was whether the kings of real estate, of commercial real estate, which are many of the world's most famous REITs, will allow this revolution to happen, whether the digital revolution will tear down the walls, if you will, of commercial real estate and massively change this industry, and whether these REITs will allow it, these incumbents will allow it. So to begin with the basics, what is commercial real estate? Commercial real estate essentially is the sector that covers the purchases and leases of commercial buildings with one simple goal, which is capital appreciation. The building types may differ. They could include standard offices. They could include industrial facilities. They could include retail locations. They could include multifamily living. Those are the main buckets. However, there's multiple building types even within those. And there's some other that aren't essentially a whole sector by themselves, but they're also included in this commercial real estate umbrella. Here I actually included also a famous quote from Harriet Martineau, who's a famous British sociologist, and how she said that owning a piece of land was effectively one of the most genial things, or thing that had the most genial effect in her mind, given of how precious this idea is and has been ever since its creation, and ever since really building human beings have been using buildings with the purpose of generating revenues from them. So let's kind of take a look at the market today, and I begin again with one simple question, which is why. What does the market look like today? My answer here, after doing a bit of research, is well, it looks almost like the same as it looked 25 years ago. The market has seen very little disruption occurring. There is one particular section of it which has seen some disruption, which is the short-term rentals, which is where companies like Airbnb, which we actually covered during the course, were able to go inside and change how things are made. Not much else has happened though. The market is essentially 1/4 of the total real estate market. Estimates vary quite a bit. Estimated size of 50 trillion, depending again what you include, what not. And it's been essentially growing for the last 9 years, thanks to a combination of very loose monetary policy across the board in all the major developed markets, including the US, Europe, Japan, as well as a general risk on appetite from many of the market participants. REITs are the main players in this market. REITs are real estate investment trusts that essentially allow investors to pool their capital and then go after specific target investments by doing it all together. This allows for some diversification to happen. Some REITs are even publicly quoted in the market. Many others aren't. But the summary is that these types of firms are the ones that currently are considered the incumbents, and there's little more than that. There's been some crowdfunding real estate companies or platforms that have entered. And here again, what they would offer is some type of diversification to the investors. However, still they do not provide an easy way to diversify because they do not solve the issue of commercial real estate being a very capital intensive market. So even after pooling capital, it's very hard for fund managers to go and purchase thousands of different building types. So this is kind of what was in the mind of Blocksquare. And that was what it's one of the things that it was aiming to fix. So what is Blocksquare? Blocksquare is an online platform that aims to kind of provide an end-to-end solution and to fully digitalize the commercial real estate market. Its idea is to create token, which are Ethereum smart contracts that represent ownership of a specific real estate asset, even breaking it down to its floors, or even breaking it down into its apartments. So it kind of can go very specific into the asset itself. And essentially what it aims to do is to divide, almost like what shares, publicly traded shares do for companies, to kind of break down ownership of this asset in a simple way, and to bring down minimum investment that is required by participants. Blocksquare is also essentially this digital platform that is connected to land registries, and through a set of certified partners, which are here some of the big incumbents that Blocksquare aims to partner with. With the idea of them keeping the legal ownership of these assets, Blocksquare aims to transfer the economic benefits of owning tokens, essentially, of owning these buildings, and the cash flows that are related to the ownership. So what essentially are the main issues that Blocksquare aims to solve? Well, I will break these down into two main ones. First one being liquidity, second one being ability to diversify. So the liquidity aspect is very important for commercial real estate, being it's a very illiquid market. So let's go maybe a step back and say, what is liquidity? Well, liquidity as a whole is defined as the ability to exchange an asset for cash at or close to its intrinsic value. Essentially, how easy it is to get rid of an asset, and how much money am I going to get? Say this asset is worth 1 billion. If I have to get rid of it in a short term, realistically speaking, how much am I going to get? Am I going to get the whole billion? Am I going to get 900 million? Am I going to get 500 million? Well, in this case, commercial real estate is extremely liquid. It being a very capital intensive market, there's not that many players that can afford to enter it, and there's like a lot of legal costs, brokerage costs that also affect this liquidity. And then there's also kind of local expertise that is required, because there's not much public data that is available for this market. So you wouldn't have to relate to brokers or people that know kind of an area well to say, yes, this might be a potential good option for commercial real estate investments or not. So REITs don't currently offer a solution to this issue. And one example of it could be the commercial real estate market in the UK. So in Q4 2018, actually, total value traded for commercial real estate was about 55 billion, which